Hello guys, welcome to my channel. I'm your other Taekook. It's a complete boy and boy FF. If you don't like my voice, mute guys.
The bunny boy is now looking at the TV while pouting angrily. He looked at the stairs and saw Tay coming down in suit. He sulked as he looked away from him. He increased the volume when he heard Tay calling him. Tay sighed while looking at him as he went towards him. Tay, Bun. He went towards him and sat on the couch looking at him. Tay, baby, Bun, look at me. He pulled the sulking boy into his lap as Jungkook wiggled in his hold. Jungkook, no, leave me, leave me. He started hitting his chest as they held his hands while pulling him to his lap, back hugging him. He off the TV and continued hugging him. He caressed his waist with his thumb softly while placing his chin on his shoulder. Jungkook, don't leave me. You will be late. They started tickling him as Jungkook laughed while trying to get out of his grip. Hey, why are you mad at me? Jungkook, I'm not. He looked down, shaking his head. Hey, look up at me and say, Bunny boy. Jungkook shook his head. Hey, Bunny. Jungkook, you will be going and I will be alone here. Hey, Jungkook, what? I will be alone. I don't want to stay alone. Hey, Tan will be here, right? Jungkook, still, I will miss you. Hey, I will come back soon. Just a few hours. Watch TV and play with Tan. Don't go out, okay? Jungkook, will you come soon? Tan nodded while looking at him. Jungkook looked down sadly as he moved away from his lap. Jungkook, why are you waiting then? Go. Hey, are you sure? Jungkook nodded. Tay nodded as he stood up and started walking but kept looking back, seeing the boy pouting while looking down. He called the driver, telling him no need. He went inside the house and saw Tan sleeping. He looked at the boy who was looking down, sniffing. He smiled a little as he went to him, taking him in his arms. Jungkook squeaked while looking up at him. Jungkook, what are you doing? Didn't you left? Hey, how can I leave my bunny here alone? My baby is coming with me. Jungkook, really? Tay nodded as he looked at the bunny smile of the younger who hugged him tightly, kissing his cheeks. Jungkook, thank you so much, Hyungi. Tay, no need to thank Bun. You have every right to say whatever you want, okay? Jungkook nodded at him as he hugged him tightly while dangling his feet on the air. Jungkook, Hyungi, we should buy Tan's food and cage and other things, right? Tae hummed. Tae, we will buy it while coming to home, okay? Jungkook nodded. Tae was in his office doing his work while Jungkook was busy looking through the big glass. Tae kept looking at him again and again, making sure he is alright. Tae saw him looking at the fireworks and balloons in air as he saw the sparkles in his eyes. He kept looking at the youngest as, feeling the stares, the other immediately looked at him. He looked away, blushing madly, seeing his Hyungi looking at him. Jungkook again looked at his Hyungi, who didn't even lift his eyes from him. Jungkook, Aish, Hyungi, don't. Tae, what happened, Bunny? Jungkook, Hyungi, you are staring at me. Tae, so? Jungkook, Aish, don't do that. Tae, I'm staring at what's mine, so what's the problem? He asked the younger, seeing the red tint spreading over his cheeks as he smirked. Tae, come here, bunny boy. Jungkook shook his head, but seeing the elder looking at him, he eventually went towards him, standing in front of him. He was pulled into his lap as he looked at him. Jungkook, I'm bored. Tae, give him his phone, who took it excitedly. Tae, don't play too much, okay? It isn't good. Jungkook nodded, pouting. Tae, don't pout, bunny boy. I cannot control. He said, pulling the pout. Jungkook was looking at Tae, who was so close to him. He gulped while staring at him, feeling the touch. He felt something in his body. He couldn't name it. He looked at Tae, whose hands were on his lips. Tae was pulling his lips as he caressed the petal-like lips. He gulped while looking at him. He felt the soft caress on his lips as a red color occupied on his chubby cheeks. Jungkook, Hyungi, Tae hummed while staring at his lips as he looked at him. Tae leaned towards himself close to his lips as he softly plucked out his lips while leaning into him. Jungkook closed his eyes tightly when he felt a lips on his mole as he held Tae's collars tightly into a fist. Tae looked at him softly, kissing on the mole as he held the waist tightly, sliding his hands inside the shirt, caressing his waist. He then smoothly caressed it while biting the mole under his lips. Jungkook, Hyungi, Tae then back away after a kiss on his forehead, hands still inside his shirt caressing the bare skin. He hugged him tightly while pulling him into his arms as he kissed on his forehead while staring at the younger, who shyly hugged him back. Few hours later, Tae looked at Jungkook, who was sleeping peacefully on the couch while snoring. He kept staring at the mail without caring to do his work. Someone knocked on the door, making him come back to the earth. Tae, come in. A girl who is wearing a skirt and a shirt come inside. The skirt was really small, not appropriate for working. She entered inside while smirking. She looked at the boss, who didn't even look at her. She walked towards him, calling him girl. Sir, sir, Tae, say. The girl gulped, hearing the cold, scary voice. Girl, file, she said, giving to him while leaning down. But the man sitting there didn't even look at her. She gritted her teeth as she doing this to get his attention. But he never looked at her or looked at others. Girl, mind, I won't leave you easily, Mr. Kim. He was busy checking the files as he gritted his teeth. The girl was busy drooling over him as she flinched when something hit her on her face. She saw him throwing the file at her face as she looked at him, gulping, seeing the anger. Hey, do you even know how to complete a file? It's full of mistakes. And how long you are working here, huh? Get out, useless. Hearing the whimpering sound, Tay looked at the male who was squirming on his sleep as he immediately went to him. The girl looked at the way where boss is going as she saw him going to the male who was sleeping on the couch. She gritted her teeth as she looked at the way the boss is pampering him. This is the first time she saw Mr. Kim like that. He never cared for others or being like this. She felt jealous as she stared at them. Seeing him consoling the boy with a soft voice, making her jealous over the boy. Tay kept consoling the teary-eyed male who woke up due to the sound. Tay, Bunny, Hyungi, sorry, Bun, please forgive me. Shh, don't cry, Bun, shh. She widened her eyes, seeing the male talking ever so softly for the first time. Her anger risen up as she looked at the younger male. She immediately went out of the room while glaring at him. Jungkook hugged the elder, sniffing on his chest. They picked him up in his arms and went to his chair, sitting there while softly caressing the black locks of the bunny boy. He kissed his forehead and cheeks again and again until he heard a whine. With a pouty face, Jungkook looked at him. He bit on his chubby cheeks, which was puffed out. He kissed on his cheeks where a mark well adorned on their cotton cheeks. He made him lay on his chest, caressing his hair, and soon Jungkook fell asleep onto strong arms. Time skip. Jungkook, Hyungi, that, this also. They nodded as both started walking through the path, buying everything for Tan. Jungkook, Tan will be so happy after seeing this. Wow, it looks so cute, Hyungi. Tay, is it for Tan or for my bunny? Tay teased him, looking at the plushie as Jungkook pouted angrily while putting the plushie there and walked away. Tay took the plushie as he ran behind him. Tay, bunny, my bunny boy. Jungkook was just pouting angrily as Tay pulled out his pout, caressing his lower lips. I won't be in control, Bun. Jungkook, you are meanie, he said, pushing him slightly as he stood on the counter. He looked at the male on the counter, looking at his bun as he pulled him onto his chest, back hugging him. He slid his hands on his waist, gripping it possessively. The male on the counter looked at the owner of the hands as he gulped, seeing him glaring at him. Hey, lower your gaze down, he said in a low pitch, very deep voice, each word holding its own power. It was a minute whisper, but the raspy voice was enough to heard by the male, who shivered hearing it. The male quickly looked on, being utterly terrified hearing it. Jungkook felt chills, but he had the warmth around his body as he leaned on his chest, as he felt a few kisses on his cheeks. Hey, baby bunny, shall we go? Jungkook nodded as both went to the car as he suddenly remembered he was angry at his Hyungi. How can he forget that? He mentally slapped himself as he crossed his arms on his chest. Jungkook, I'm still mad at you. He was sitting on the front seat as hearing it, Tae chuckled. Tae, what should I do to make my bunny forgive me? Jungkook, I don't know. Think about yourself. Tae took the plushie as he looked at him, placed it in front of his face, shaking it. Jungkook's eyes widened, seeing it as he giggled, taking it in his hands. Tae, now forgive me. Jungkook nodded, leaning to peck his cheeks, but Tae turned as their lips met. Both looked at each other, not backing away as Jungkook closed his eyes, letting his Hyungi take control. Tae pulled him to his lap as he kissed the younger softly as he held his waist tightly. He squeezed on his waist softly while Jungkook left the plushie from his hands, which fall down on the car as he circled his arms around his neck.
To be continued. Thank you for watching, guys. If you like my story, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to comment, guys. See you in next part. Bye bye.